Hey guys, so I am doing my video on my journey, about my journey to towards getting correctly diagnosed. Um, I'll try to keep it short as possible. So the first misdiagnosis, I guess you would call it, was a birthmark. When I was about 3 months old, I had a mark appear on my arm, and it never went away, so they just called it a birthmark. But I'll show it to you here. I just my Lyme doctors say it's just a variation of an EM rash. It's kind of at a hard angle to show you. But it's this spot right here. And it wraps around my arm. So yeah, I always thought it was a birthmark, but it's really just an alternative EM rash. When I was 6, I was misdiagnosed with stress and anxiety because I was having chest pain and palpitations and all kinds of stuff. At that time I had a whole cardiac workup, and all they found clinically was a heart murmur, but it was most likely either Lyme or Babesia at the time. Another thing, which this is a little bit different, you don't really hear of this too often, but my teeth, I don't know to classify as a misdiagnosis exactly, but I had terrible teeth growing up, and the problem was it wasn't just like your average kid, getting cavities. My teeth virtually rotted from the inside out. So I've had 4 root canals and 1 tooth pulled and different stuff like that. And that whole time I was being told that it was because I was eating poorly, but it was really just Lyme. Sleep apnea, tonsillitis. I eventually had my tonsils removed because they were so gigantic, but that did not fix my sleep apnea. I was diagnosed with food allergies. However, when I did eliminate them, I never saw any relief. And I'll say, until I was about 16, 15 or so, 14, 15, I never really went to the doctor much. I had many symptoms. I had lots of, many symptoms of Lyme disease, but half of them I never told my mom, and the other half, my mom and grandma were really big into herbs, and so we kind of treated our own stuff with different herbal remedies, but they never did anything for me. And then it was once I was about 14, 15, I started going to the doctor and being misdiagnosed. When I was 15, I was diagnosed with hypertension. This is not a misdiagnosis. It was hypertension. However, they never got to the root of why I had hypertension so young. And I actually started treatment when I was 16. I was misdiagnosed with UTIs, URIs, sinus infections, Like the UTI, I don't think I really ever had them. It was just I had pain and frequency problems, but antibiotics never really helped. Um, Upper respiratory infection, kind of the same thing. Sinus infections, same thing. Antibiotics never really helped. Um, then in '09, I crashed and they thought I had renal problems, um, and more heart problems because my blood pressure, even while being on hypertension treatment, was like 220 over 120, ridiculous high, scary stuff. Um, then I was actually diagnosed with Lyme disease through my regular primary care doctor. Um, she literally knew nothing about it, and I did 2 weeks of treatment and was told that I was cured. Unfortunately, not so. From there, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. Um, Sorry, I have it all written down here. I just can't remember. Lupus. Um, oh, back when I was 17, I was diagnosed with lymphadenopathy. I had a giant lymph node about the size of a tennis ball that I had to have removed, and at that time they thought I had cancer for a while. I never did any treatment for it, but everything came back, what do you call it, unconclusive or something. But I was diagnosed with lymphadenopathy. Insert Bartonella diagnosis here. um, should have been. Um, but yeah, I saw renal doctor, cardiologists, rheumatologists, infectious disease, um, renal doctor, chiropractors, and then in 2010 I moved to help my sister, and she randomly set me up an appointment with her naturopathic doctor and said maybe she'll be able to help you. So I went and I saw her, and within about 5 minutes of talking to her, she said I had diagnosed me with Lyme disease, between a combination of many Lyme symptoms and my previous positive test for Lyme. I did orals for about a year, oral antibiotics for about a year. 6 months into it, I collapsed. So after a year, I started seeing another Lyme doctor who was able to get me a PICC line and do IV antibiotics, which I did 6 months straight, and then I had a 1 month break, and then I did another month, but I'm currently off of the IV antibiotics right now. Last week I actually saw a new Lyme doctor who will be my official Lyme doctor now, Dr. Jemsek. I found him through the movie Under Our Skin, and also I have some great friends, Kate actually also on this channel, and another friend who see him and highly recommended him. So yeah, right now I'm not on any treatment. They are trying to get me a little bit better, build my body up a little bit before I start his intense IV therapy treatment, which I will hopefully start the beginning of the new year. But that's pretty much my history. I have Lyme, Babesia, Bartonella, Mycoplasma, HHV6. Those are the things I've been diagnosed with so far. I've been told I was crazy. I never really got the fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome diagnoses because my doctors never really paid any attention to it. They just kind of thought I was crazy, hypochondriac, and I didn't complain too much, which I've had to learn to complain. For many years, I just dealt with my symptoms. But anyway, if you want to know a more complete history of symptoms and what symptoms I dealt with when, etc., I'm hopefully wanting to do a video about, more in depth on my channel. So if you want to, you can be watching my channel for that, hopefully sometime soon. So yeah, that's my journey towards a correct diagnosis, and I apologize for this video being so long, and I hope to see you next Wednesday.